Hi all, I'm going to show you how to play some simple blues licks using A minor pentatonic, and I'm going to touch on some string bending and vibrato. So that lick, what I'm doing is I'm just actually playing, I'm bending the 10th fret of the top E string and I'm bending it up a tone higher to sound the note on the 12th fret. There it is there. And then what I'm doing, I'm releasing the bend very quickly and I'm doing an up, by the way that bends on an upstroke. Then when I release the bend, I'm doing another upstroke with my first finger on the 8th fret and a downstroke with my third finger on the 10th fret of the B string. So once again I'm bending up and it's a very quick release with an up down and add a bit of vibrato. And when I add the vibrato, pull the third finger off to sound the note that the first finger's on, which is a G note on the 8th fret, and hammer that second finger to the 9th fret. So it sounds like this. So you get that little sort of little waffle at the end. So put together, just before I'm doing the bend, I'm going like this. I'm doing a down up with my third finger on the 10th fret of the B string, then a down on the 8th fret of the top E string, and then I commence that lick. So another blues lick will be in this position of the A minor pentatonic. It's known as the first position. I'll play it slowly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bar the top two strings, the top E and the B string on the 5th fret with my first finger. I'm going to do a down up. So it's down on the B string, sorry, a bit more volume, and an up on the top E. Then stretch out with my third finger, so it's picking the G note, which is on the 8th fret of the B string, and I'm going to bend that note up to sound the A note on the 10th fret. There it is there. So I'm going, and when I get it there, I'm going to add some vibrato. So for anyone who hasn't done vibrato before, in combination with a string bend, it's going to take a bit of practice to develop strength in your left hand to do the bend and add the vibrato. You don't want this with your vibrato. You don't want it or the opposite, or the same thing but very quickly. So it's yodeling, you know, and it goes out of pitch. You want a nice smooth waving effect. So I'm going to go. Okay, so that's just a very simple, straightforward blues lick, but you don't even have to do this. You can just bend the note and just get the right pitch at first. You can pick it slowly. Then add your vibrato. Don't bend the string, add the vibrato and let it come down. You've got to hold the bend. And the vibrato is all in the wrist. It's this movement. The fingers are only holding the note solid. It's got a firm fix on the string, and you're just rocking your wrist. You're bending it. Not bending it, sorry, just wavering, letting it rock back and forward. And always keep the thumb up, hanging over where the first knuckle is, over the neck. Just keep the thumb over the side of the neck, the edge of it, and push down with your thumb. And when you're pushing the opposite way, so the thumb's pushing this way, down, and fingers pushing up. So the thumb plays an integral part in squeezing the tone out of the string. So, if we go back and do this lick again, when we do this, pull off, hammer. Go back to the 8th fret with your first finger. will extend on this a bit. Pick that note, slide it down 3 frets lower, so it's now in the 5th fret, from the 8th to the 5th. So I've gone. Then the 3rd finger is going to move to the 7th fret of the G string. Bring your 1st finger back so it's on the same string. Pick it on a downstroke. Pull it off. Pull the 3rd finger off to the 5th fret. And then hammer it, the 3rd finger on to the D string of the 7th fret. And then go back to the 5th fret on that G string. Pick the note. And add your vibrato with your 1st finger. So that sounds like. Put that together. And I did a little waffle at the end of it. And that's just this. After the vibrato, pick the D string of the 7th fret with your 3rd finger, and make sure your 1st finger comes at the same time, simultaneously, straight back on that same string, sitting on the 5th fret. Pick it, pull it off, and hammer it. So the note with the vibrato sings, and then you do that little waffle at the end. So what I'm doing there, I'll do the lick first. It's just like an A chord, and I'm picking all downstrokes. I'm doing a down on the D string, a down on the G string, and then another down with my 2nd finger playing the C note, which is on the 3rd fret of the A string. I'm picking it, I'm giving it a little, what we call a quarter bend. And then go back to the G string, that my finger's still playing on that A chord, and pick that. Add vibrato. Sounds like this, slowly. Again. So, and after I add the vibrato, I stretch my little finger out and just pick that, the 5th fret of the G string, which is a C note, and let it cut out. Always letting it cut out with my pick. Hold the note, I want to cut out, pick it, and let the pick come back down and block the string, so it just mutes it. Or another little thing at the end, you can go, just doing a little pull off to the open G string and letting that cut out. I didn't even do it then, it just sounds fine without it or with it. And this thing, it's just a little blues shuffle in A, very simple. 1st finger on the E note, which is on the 2nd fret of the D string, and my 3rd finger, same string, 2 frets higher, a tone higher. All I'm doing is I'm playing 2 down strokes on the open A. You've got to get that ringing open throughout with those 2 notes. Then stretch the 3rd finger out and back again. So I'm doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and one thing I must talk about with the right hand, if you're using a fair amount of, well, you don't want too much distortion if you're playing blues, but if you're using some distortion, you want to palm mute on the saddles of your electric guitar. If you're playing on an acoustic guitar, you don't have to, but if you want to mute, it's probably good practice to get into. I'm using the little finger side of the palm of the hand, just on the edge, resting very lightly on the saddles of the low strings. If I do it without it, now listen to the palm hitting. If you're too far up, you get this. There it is there, there's the nice sweet spot, just sitting there. Very easy to do. And just doing all downstrokes going.